What a flow, what a flow. What a flow, what a flow. Come on. What a flow, what a flow. What a flow, what a flow. The water put it just like a freestyle. The lifeblood flowing mile by mile. Its legacy, a beat that don't stop like Bob Marley say. One love on top. The sewage water out of sight, but it's always wrong, don't lose the light. From factories and wells so deep, corals, mangroves and fish they weep. Grey water for the garden, keep it green. Save the cash and the earth gets clean. We use the water with a mindful mind. It's out of sight but never far behind. In nature, the answers always flow. Like water running pure, the cycle grows. It renews itself, same drop, same beat. It's all good, man, you can't delete. Water flow, water flow. No clean water, no pipes they grow. Protect our water, protect our future.
Time to go.
Join the conversation focusing on Jamaica's development. Tune in to the post-cabinet press briefings. Wednesdays live at 9 a.m. with a rebroadcast at 9 p.m. right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.
Peace is a choice we make every day. When we come together with love and understanding, we create a future free of violence and fear. Let's stand united, build bridges, and nurture hope for our children and our communities.
Embark on a journey to discover the truth that sets us free. Join us on Tomorrow's World, your weekly source of hope, answers, and divine insight. Sundays at 9 a.m. with rebroadcasts on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30 a.m. Tune in right here on PBCJ, the People's Station, and be inspired.
Now that you're speaking out, do more. Do more. Help fight crime. Do the right thing and report what you know. Do the right thing and publicly demand change. Hold government accountable for better governance. Protect your environment and health. Do the right thing and keep your community clean. If we all do the right thing and build integrity, Jamaica will be the place to live, work, raise families, and do business.
Overtake and bring back everything.
Bask in the awesome Word of God and the life-changing experience of fellowship. Bask in the revival time, 8 a.m. on Sundays, right here on the People's Station.
Send the something and come back. Back to sender. God, I thank you so much.
Miracles await and miracles abound. Tune in every Sunday at 7 a.m. for your share of the Miracle Revival Hour with Reverend Dr. Blair. Come for the word, stay for the worship, right here on PBCJ.
Miracle worker, work one for me.
See your new favorite shows on the Children's Corner. Learn, laugh, play. Weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays from 1:30 to 5 p.m. The Children's Corner, right here on PBCJ.
Tell me something. How much time you ever hear the government announce a project and wonder why they must spend millions on this and not on that? Well, if you think there's nothing you can do about how your money is spent, think again. Jamaica's budget is more than just numbers. It reveals our biggest problems and goals, our plans to fix them, and what to prioritize. We can even call it a promise book of what will be done to improve our lives. Now, let's talk about the 4 stages of the budget cycle so we can understand how it works and get involved. Stage 1. Planning and review. The Ministry of Finance sends out a budget call to every ministry, which outlines the priorities and constraints to guide how those ministries prepare their budget. After ministries submit their drafts, the Finance Ministry reviews, compiles, and sends them to Cabinet for review and approval. Stage 2. Parliamentary debate and approval. The Finance Minister tables all budget documents in the House of Representatives. The Standing Finance Committee, which is all 63 MPs, sits to examine the budget documents, and each minister presents their budget and answers concerns the committee has. The committee's report is then tabled in the House, followed by the estimated expenditure, which is tabled as legislation called the Appropriations Bill. That's right, the budget of Jamaica is law. The budget debate formally opens. We have presentations from the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister, Opposition Leader, and the Shadow Finance Minister. After their presentations, our MPs vote for or against approval. Like all legislation, it goes to the Senate for their approval and then to the Governor General for his royal assent. No later than March 31st, end of the financial year. Stage 3. Implementation. The new financial year begins and approved budgets are sent to ministries. Collecting taxes, borrowing loans, and receiving grants begin. And so does the spending. Stage 4. Budget oversight. Now, this is where citizens don't need permission to get involved. Throughout the year, operations and spending are assessed by internal auditors and the Auditor General's department that makes sure public entities are compliant with laws and that their financial reports are accurate. All Auditor General reports are submitted to our Parliament's Public Accounts Committee for review and cross-examination of public officials. The Ministry of Finance, Integrity Commission, and MOCA also monitor government spending to guard against poor financial management and corruption. It is our job to review these reports, check the findings in the newspaper, and look up if breaches are fixed at jampja.org. If not, ask your MP what he or she has done to ensure public officials are held to account. No more 9-day wonders. So, did the government follow through on their spending and investment promises last year? What promises will next year's budget have? How will they affect you? And how can you ensure that you get what is promised? For access to the national budget, check out JAM's easy digital version and contact info for your MP at jampja.org. Then link your MP and see what progress is being made throughout the entire budget cycle. Support JAMP. Let's do our job to make Jamaica land we love, Jamaica land we own, and Jamaica land we run well. A message from the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, funded by the European Union in partnership with the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica.
Breathe in the breath of life. Saturdays and Sundays at 7:30 a.m., Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5:30 a.m. on PBCJ, the People's Station.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Your government is empowering you through education, training, and development. That is why we have removed all fees for every Jamaican accessing training through the Heart NSTA Trust. So, whatever you desire training in, food and hospitality, beauty and cosmetology, housekeeping and hotel management, welding, carpentry, masonry, or any of the dozens of programs Heart offers, you can enroll completely free and change your life. We are building Jamaica.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Overtake and bring back everything.
Bask in the awesome Word of God and the life-changing experience of fellowship. Bask in the revival time, 8 a.m. on Sundays, right here on the People's Station.
wonder who that somebody be. No, sir. Let me look for my glasses. Oh, that somebody look like right, sir. It's Lottie, walk on. Me glad for see you, right? Although things never go on for you, America, me glad to see you there.
Yes.
Lift your head high.
Yes.
Stay out of trouble.
Yes.
And you can have a fresh start back home. All right, Mr. P. Thanks, you hear?
Let's all work together for a fresh start back home.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Technical personnel from the Parliament of Jamaica and my fellow colleagues, once again welcome you to this meeting. Meeting is now called to order. We will ask Member Denise Daly to bring us closer to the Almighty.
Let us bow our heads. Almighty Father, our Creator of heaven and earth, we thank you, Lord, for this day. This is the day that you have made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Father, as we are about to start this meeting, we ask for wisdom and understanding. Let us do and say what is to your glory and to your honor. These words we ask in your name's sake. Amen.
Welcome once again to this meeting. Are there any apologies for absent? Absent for the chair, Madam Holness. Any other? If there is no other, we take that the minutes has been read and will be confirmed. Members? Moved by Member Daly, seconded by Minister Williams. Matters arising from the minutes. Are there any matters that you want to speak on? If not, we will go directly into the review of proposed constituency projects, and we will start off with the administrative assistant file. So, members of Parliament, constituency, project type, name of project, budget, and implementing agencies. Honorable Favour Williams, St. Andrew Eastern. Human and Social Development, St. Andrew Eastern Administrative Funding, 2026-2027, 1.5 million Social Development Commission. Fifth of the fifth. Honorable Desmond Mackenzie, Kingston Western, Human and Social Development, Kingston Western Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Honorable Delano Civil Rights, St. Andrew North Central, Human and Social Development, St. Andrew North Central Administrative Assistant, FY 26, 27, 1.5 SDC. And that is 1.5 million. Mr. Mark Golding, St. Andrew Southern, Human and Social Development, St. Andrew Southern Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Honorable Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, HSD, St. Andrew West Rural Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Mr. Dwayne Smith, St. Andrew Northwestern Human and Social Development, St. Andrew Northwestern Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million, Social Development Commission. Dr. Angela Brown Burke, St. Andrew Southwestern Human and Social Development, St. Andrew Southwestern Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SCC. Mr. Dennis Gordon, St. Andrew East Central, Human and Social Development, St. Andrew East Central Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Honorable Juliet Holness, St. Andrew East Rural, Human and Social Development, St. Andrew East Rural Administrative Assistant, 2026-2027, 1.5 million SDC. Mr. Julian Robinson, St. Andrew Southeastern Human and Social Development, St. Andrew Southeastern Administrative Assistance, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Mr. Philip Paulwell, Kingston Eastern and Port Royal Human Social Development, Kingston East and Port Royal Administrative Assistant, 1.5 million Social Development Commission. Honorable Orlando Terlang, St. Catherine East Central, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine East Central Administrative Funding, 2627, 1.5 million SCC. Miss Denise Daly, St. Catherine Eastern, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine Eastern Administrative Assistant, 1.5 million SCC. Mr. Fitzjackson, St. Catherine Southern, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine Southern Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SCC. Honorable Kerencia Morrison, St. Catherine Northeastern, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine Northeastern Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SCC. Mrs. Natalie Nita Garvey, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine North Central Administrative Funding, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Mr. Damian Crawford, St. Catherine Northwestern, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine Northwestern Administrative Funding, 2627, $1.5 million Social Development Commission. Dr. Alfred Dawes, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine Southeastern Administrative Funding, 2627, $1.5 million SDC. Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton, St. Catherine West Central, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine West Central Administrative Funding, 2627, $1.5 million SDC. Mr. Wavell Hines, Clarendon Northern, Human and Social Development, Clarendon Northern Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million Social Development Commission. Honorable Robert Morgan, Clarendon North Central, Human and Social Development, Clarendon North Central Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million SDC. Mr. Lothan Cousins, Clarendon Southwestern, Human and Social Development, Clarendon Southwestern Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million SDC. Honorable Colonel Charles Jr., Clarendon Southeastern, Human and Social Development, Clarendon Southeastern Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million SCC. Honorable Ambassador Audrey Marks, Manchester Northeastern, Human and Social Development, Manchester Northeastern Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million STC. Mr. Peter Bunting, Manchester Southern, Human and Social Development, Manchester Southern Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million SDC. Honorable Rhoda Crawford, Human and Social Development, Manchester Central Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million SDC. Honorable Floyd Green, Human and Social Development, St. Elizabeth Southwestern Administrative Assistant Funding, 2627, $1.5 million SDC. Honorable Franklin Witter, St. Elizabeth Southeastern, Human and Social Development, St. Elizabeth Eastern Southeastern Administrative Assistant Funding, 2627, $1.5 million Social Development. Dr. Kenneth Russell, Human and Social Development, St. Anne Southeastern Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million SDC. Honorable Krista Lee, Human and Social Development, St. Anne Northwestern Administrative Assistant, 2627 SDC. $1.5 million. Honorable Matthew Samuda, St. Anne Northeastern, Human and Social Development, St. Anne Northeastern Administrative Assistant, 2620. Sorry, we just have a correction to that one. We move. Honorable Robert Montague, St. Mary Western, Human and Social Development, St. Mary Western Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Honorable Matthew Samuda, St. Anne Northeastern, Human and Social Development, St. Anne Northeastern Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Mr. Christopher Brown, St. Mary's Southeastern, Project Type, Human and Social Development, St. Mary's Southeastern Administrative Assistant, 27, 1.5 million SDC. Mr. Omar Newell, St. Mary's Central, Human and Social Development, St. Mary's Central Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Mr. Isaac Buchanan, Portland Eastern, Human and Social Development, Portland Eastern Administrative Assistant, 1.5 million SDC. Miss Andrea Perkis, Human and Social Development, Hanover Eastern Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Mrs. Heather Miller Bennett, Hanover Western, Human and Social Development, Hanover Western Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SEC. Dr. Dayton Campbell, Westmoreland Eastern, Human and Social Development, Westmoreland Eastern Administrative Funding, 2627, 1.5 million Social Development Commission. Mr. Dwayne Vaz, Westmoreland Central, Human and Social Development, Westmoreland Central Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million Social Development Commission. Honorable Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, Trelawney Southern, Human Social Development, Trelawney Southern Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million SDC. Miss Nikisha Burchell, St. James Southern Human and Social Development, St. James Southern Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million SDC. Honorable Edmund Bartlett, St. James East Central, Human and Social Development, St. James East Central Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million SDC. Honorable Dr. Horace Chang, St. James Northwestern, Human and Social Development, St. James Northwestern, Administrative Assistant, 2627, 1.5 million, Social Development. Mrs. Marlene Malahou, 4th FC, St. James West Central, Human and Social Development, St. James West Central, Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million, SDC. Honorable Darrell Valls, Portland Western, Human and Social Development, Portland Western Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million, SDC. Mr. Hero Clark, St. James Central, Human and Social Development, St. James Central Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million, SDC. Point of clarity. Mr. James Robertson, St. Thomas Western, St. Thomas Western Administrative Assistant, Funding Human and Social Development, $1.5 million, Social Development Commission. Miss Yvonne Rosemary Shaw, St. Thomas Eastern Human and Social Development, St. Thomas Eastern Administrative Assistant, 2627, $1.5 million, SDC. That takes us to the end of this file. Still on Human and Social Development, Mrs. Natalie Nita Garvis and Catherine North Central, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine North Central, Emancifest, 2627, $2 million, SDC. Mrs. Natalie Nita Garvis and Catherine North Central, Human and Social Development, and Catherine North Central Development, 2627, $6 million, SDC. Mrs. Natalie Nita Garvis and Catherine North Central, Human and Social Development, and Catherine North Central Sports, 2627, $2 million, SDC. Physical infrastructure. Mr. Clifford Warmington, St. Catherine Southwestern, Physical Infrastructure, St. Catherine Southwest Retaining Wall Construction, Bullet Tree, Red Ground, and Sylvester Drive Communities, 2627, $6.207,132.75, National Work Agency. Disaster mitigation. Mr. Clifford Warmington, St. Catherine Southwestern, Disaster Mitigation, St. Catherine Southwestern Disaster Mitigation, 26-27, $2 million, St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. Mr. Michael Phillips, Manchester Northwestern, Disaster Mitigation, Manchester Northwestern Water Distribution Program, 26-27, $1 million, Manchester MC. Mr. Christopher Brown, St. Mary Southeastern Disaster Mitigation, St. Mary Eastern Disaster Mitigation, 26-27, $500,000, social development. Honorable Marisa Dalrymple Filbert, Trelawney Southern Disaster Mitigation, Trelawney Southern Water Distribution, 26-27, $2 million, Trelawney Municipal Corporation. Sports. I was just wondering when I was going to read this name. Honorable Donovan Williams, Kingston Central, Human and Social Development, Kingston Central Sports Program, 26-27, $200,000, SDC. Road football. You take this one. Dr. Angela Brownberg, JP, St. Andrew Southwestern Human and Social Development, St. Andrew Southwestern Sports Program, 26-27, $1 million, SDC. Honorable Orlando Terlang, St. Catherine East Central, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine East Central Sports, 26-27, $2 million, SDC. Dr. Alfred Dawes, St. Catherine Southeastern, Human and Social Development, St. Catherine Southeastern Sports Initiative, 26-27, $1 million, SCC. Mr. Andrew Morris, St. Elizabeth Northwestern Human and Social Development, St. Elizabeth Northwestern Sports Development, 26-27, $2 million, St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. $2 million. Honorable Edmund Bartlett, St. James East Central Human and Social Development, St. James East Central Sports Development, 2026-2027, $1 million, social development. Mr. Dwayne Vaz, Human and Social Development, Westmoreland Central Sports Competition, 26-27, $2 million, social development. We now move to education. Honorable Donovan Williams, Kingston Central Education Assistant 2627, $8.5 million SDC. Mr. Dennis Gordon, St. Andrew East Central Educational Development, 2627, $9.6 million SDC. Mr. Julian Robinson, St. Andrew Southeastern Assistant 2620, Educational Assistant 2627, $5 million SCC. Honorable Delroy Chuck KC, St. Andrew Northeastern Educational Assistant 2627, $6 million SDC. Dr. Angela Brown Burke, St. Andrew Southwestern, Educational Assistant 2627, $5 million SDC. Honorable Favor Williams, St. Andrew Eastern Education Assistant 2627, $8 million SDC. Miss Denise Daly, St. Catherine Eastern Educational Assistant 2627, $6.5 million SDC. Honorable Alanda Terlong, St. Catherine East Central Education Assistant 2627, $8 million SDC. Yeah, $8 million. Dr. Alfred Dawes, St. Catherine Southeastern Educational Development, 2627, $5 million SDC. Dr. the Honorable Andrew Wheatley, St. Catherine South Central Education Fund 2627, $6,100,000 SDC. Mr. Clifford Warmington, St. Catherine Southwest St. Catherine Education 2627, $8.5 million SDC. Mr. Luthan Cousins, Clarendon Southwestern Educational Development, 2627, $8 million SDC. Honorable Robert Morgan, Clarendon North Central Education Assistant 2627, $10 million, Clarendon Municipal Corporation. Mr. Wavell Hines, Clarendon Northern Education Fund 2627, $5 million, Clarendon MC. Honorable Delroy Williams, Clarendon Central Education Assistant Fund 2627, $6 million, Clarendon MC. Mr. Richard Azan, Clarendon Northwestern School Vocational Program 2627, $3 million STC. Mr. Richard Azan, Clarendon Northwestern Education Fund 2627, is this? Sorry, let me see that one there. One is Education Fund 2627, $5 million STC. Honorable Colonel Charles Jr., Clarendon Southeastern Educational Assistant Fund 2627, $6 million, Clarendon MC. Honorable Rhoda Crawford, Manchester Central Social Support Education Grant Assistant 2627, $8.5 million, Manchester MC. Mr. Michael Phillips, Manchester Northwestern Education Program, $6.5 million, Manchester MC. Honorable Ambassador Audrey Marks, Manchester Northeastern Education 2627, $10 million SCC. Miss Zuleika Jess, St. Elizabeth Northeastern Education 2627, $6 million SCC. Honorable Frank Witter, St. Elizabeth Southeastern Educational Support, 2627, $6 million, St. Elizabeth MC. Mr. Andrew Morris, St. Elizabeth Northwestern Educational Development, 2627, $7 million, St. Elizabeth MC. Honorable Floyd Green, St. Elizabeth Southwestern Educational Development Program, 2627, $5 million, St. Elizabeth MC. Honorable Crystal Lee, St. Anne Northwestern St. Ann Northwestern Education's Assistant 2627 $6 million SDC. Honorable Matthew Samuda, St. Ann Northeastern Educational Assistant 2627 $8 million SDC. Dr. Kenneth Russell, St. Ann Southeastern Educational Assistant 2627 $5.1 million SDC. Honorable Xavier Mean, St. Ann Southwestern Educational Project 2627 $6 million SDC. Honorable Robert Montague, St. Mary Western Educational Assistant 2627 $5 million SDC. Mr. Christopher Brown, St. Mary Southeastern Educational Assistant 2627 $6 million SDC. Miss Andrea Perkis, Hanover Eastern Educational Assistant 2627 $6.5 million SDC. Mrs. Heather Miller Bennett, Hanover Western Education Fund 2627 $5 million SDC. Dr. Dayton Campbell, Westmoreland Eastern Education Program 2627 $5 million SDC. Mr. Dwayne Vaz, Westmoreland Central Education Fund 2627 $5 million SDC. Honorable Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, Trelawney Southern Educational Assistant 2627 $6 million SDC. Honorable Dr. Horace Chang, St. James Northwestern Educational Assistant 2627 $10 million SDC. Miss Nikisha Burchell, St. James Southern Educational Fund 2627 $5 million SDC. Mr. Heroy Clark, St. James Central Education Assistant 2627 $6 million SDC. Honorable Edmund Bartlett, St. James East Central Education Assistant 2627 $10 million SDC. Mrs. Marlene Malahu Fort, KC, St. James West Central Education Assistant 2627 $6 million SDC. Honorable Darrell Vaz, Portland Western Educational Support 2627 $8 million Portland MC. April 30th, 2026, Honorable Juliet Holness, Chairman, CDF Parliamentary Committee, care of Houses of Parliament, 81 Duke Street, Kingston. Dear Mrs. Holness, St. Thomas Western reallocation request. Member of Parliament for Constituency of the caption, Mr. James Robertson, is desirous of reallocating the amount of $800,000 from St. Thomas Western Sports Development Program to finance the attached St. Thomas Western Additional Educational Development. I have attached a copy of the request letter from the Member of Parliament as well as previous approval for the committee's perusal. Your favorable consideration of this matter is anticipated. Yours truly, Simone Daly Campbell, JP, Mrs. Acting Director. April 16, 2026, Mrs. Juliet Holness, Chairman, Constituency Development Fund, Parliamentary Committee, Houses of Parliamentary, 81 Duke Street, Kingston. Dear Mrs. Holness, change in implementing agency for Kingston Western. Member of Parliament for the caption, Constituency Honorable Desmond Mackenzie is seeking the approval of the CDF Parliamentary Committee to change the implementing agency from the following projects that was inadvertently approved for the Social Development Commission, STC, to be reassigned to Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC. Kingston Western Economic Enablement, 25-26, budgeted $3 million. Kingston Western Additional Welfare and Emergency, 25-26 budget, $550,000. Kingston Western Additional Social Housing, 25-26 budget, $550,000. Copies of the previous parliamentary approval are also attached for your perusal. Your consideration to this matter would be greatly appreciated. Yours truly, Simone Daly Campbell, JP, Mrs. Acting Director. That comes to the end of projects that are before me. If there are any more from the technocrat, make it known. There is none, and so we move to any other business. Any other business? Sorry?
Just so the records will reflect
that you came
that
late.
It has become increasingly difficult to execute the kind of work which is required in our constituencies with the same $20 million we have been receiving over these many years. And that as a parliament, we have a responsibility to ensure that we are keeping a pace with inflation. What this 20 million was able to do 5 years, 6 years ago, certainly we are not able to do that now. Education, even the basic things, the cost of materials for helping with housing, it's become increasingly difficult. And as a matter of fact, sometimes I don't even know how to maneuver this $20 million to make it worth the while to speak to constituents. And when they hear $20 million, oftentimes it is believed that it is a lot of money. but it really isn't. And I really believe that as a committee, we need to be lobbying together as one unit, one committee, for an increase in the CDF allocation at this time to be able to meet the demands of our constituency.
Thank you.
I would like to second that and to say that.
I see Member Daly's itching. I will now give you the permission to.
Thank you very much, Chairman, because this is so timely in respect to the request. And I can remember clearly that in the last administration, we asked for not just the CDF to be increased, but we were also looking at the salaries for the staff, because we were losing good personnel because the salary scale is too low. And I would want to revisit that recommendation as well in respect to the 20 million that we spoke to, and in respect to the staff salaries.
Any other comment? Member Vaz, you want to say?
Well, I think I've said this numerous times, and it's something we definitely have to look into going forward. Every single member of parliament, I'm sure, would agree, because at the end of the day, 20 million that was valued in 2008-9 is totally not the same value as it is now. So we really have to look into how we find different ways to either increase the CDF, well, naturally to increase the CDF, and find other ways to assist members of parliament with the resources to assist our constituents.
Member Dalrymple Filbert.
I also want to echo the sentiments expressed by the other members. And I know that if the whole of Parliament on either side was there, they would feel that, because we honestly wish to help our people, and it is very difficult to do so on the funds that we have.
Thank you very much. Let us welcome the presence of our member, Honorable Orlando Terlang. We were on the topic of increasing the remuneration to us as members of parliament. Not remuneration, but the funding that is CDF allocation. Sorry, have me excuse.
Sorry. As well as, if I may, Mr. Chair, the allocation that is paid to the managers, the constituency managers or the CDF managers, that has been at about $1.5 million since 2016. And I believe 10 years later, I mean, mind you, as a government, we have kept inflation in check. Inflation has been relatively stable. But at 2016, earning $1.5 million per annum to manage the CDF, and everyone understands and can appreciate, without a strong assistant who is able to manage the CDF fund, us as members of parliament would not get any work done. If we don't get any work done, then we are not able to provide benefits to our constituents, whether it's by virtue of being able to plan and organize the road development works, whether it's to organize the sporting activities, whether it's to provide economic enablement, or any funding that we do throughout the constituency. So it would be important, I believe, if we looked at that as well for the increase for their salaries.
Please allow me, Chairman. A lot of the constituencies are like mine. Those managers travel to the constituency and travel miles up and down in the hill and round on cars that are old, up and down to do everything. And to say that they haven't got a drop of traveling and they continue to do work, I think it is a matter that is one of the most urgent things that need to be considered, particularly at a time when there is so much help needed in the area.
May one more time, Chairman. Chairman, I believe in this new administration. We really probably need to have a, people talk about retreat, but that's where we really enable. No, well, we can agree, but there are some other things that we really need to look at in respect to, delivery of services. And I think it is quite timely for us to have another retreat to look at the way forward with the CDF.
So we will ask those that are in charge of CDF department to look at a retreat for members of parliament and to discuss the way forward. I will agree that it is noticeably that all members, both sides, are of the same view that the $20 million that we are now receiving for the management of our constituency is woefully lacking. Not only that we have already asked to remove 1.5 for the salary for the assistant to the constituents, which is again woefully and shamefully lacking. At this time, we are, if you should calculate the funding, I would say it is below the minimum wage. And so as a country, we need to look at that. And I will ask the guidance of the clerk, do we write to CDF or do we write to the Ministry of Finance to take a deeper look? Also in the report to Parliament, I will now instruct the clerk to make sure that what the sentiments that have been expressed by all members, including the chairman, that it is be sent to the necessary authorities to look at it in a very, very meaningful way, especially the fact that the 1.5 per annum, if it is calculated the right way, it shows us breaking the law without traveling.
And I'm going to say, I'm not against a retreat, but my position right now is the urgency of the situation. I don't want to wait for a date to be given to us 1 month's time, that the following month is a retreat, and then by the time we discuss it and it goes back, and you end up 3-4 months. The matter is urgent. I think we are all agreed on it.
The matters can run simultaneously.
Have to be done.
The matters can be run simultaneously. So the instruction by this committee is given to the clerk to make sure in the report that if nothing else gets reported on, that these two matters be addressed. At this time, if there is no other comment, the date for the next meeting. Now we're just checking the availability. So, thus far, I am advised by the clerk that we will put out both dates, 12th and the 19th, to see which one is available. So we will round robin the information as soon as it is checked and is confirmed. So please bear in mind those two dates. I am taking this opportunity to ask those who are present and all other members of Parliament, please get your projects in time. It is kind of embarrassing that projects are coming in way late, and we're asking CDF staff to ensure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. So I'm asking, again, I'm imploring of us to get our projects into the CDF office so that they can do the diligence, and make it available for our next meeting. All right? Once again, if there is no other matter, We move for the adjournment, moved by Member Daly, seconded by Member Nita Garvey. This meeting now stands adjourned.
Breathe in the breath of life. Saturdays and Sundays at 7:30 a.m., Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5:30 a.m. on PBCJ, the People's Station.